Specialty Healthcare, your preferred healthcare partner for exceptional care. Now, here is your host, Tim Newton.
The Purdue women's basketball team started the season with 2 wins this week, knocking off Marshall 73-61 last Thursday, and then yesterday beating Murray State 90-61. Boilermakers have 2 more games at home this week. SIU Edwardsville comes to Mackey Arena Thursday night, and then the Indiana State Sycamores will finish out the homestand on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Good evening, everybody. From walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, it is the Katie Gearlds Show. We'll be talking Boilermaker basketball with the head coach up until the top of the hour. You can tag along on Facebook tonight. We're on the Purdue Athletics site. If you do that, let us know where you're watching and if you have a question for the coach. A little bit later on the show, we'll be talking with guard Abby Ellis. But when we come back, it'll be the head coach. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Shot. Can't find the bottom of the net. A quick pass into Layden. Back out. Harden, her three-pointer. Nothing but net. To Ellis. Ellis driving in, right hand. Can't find it. Harper the rebound once again. Find the bottom of the basket. Terry dumps it off to Petrie. Petrie crossing over. And a nice move. Laisha Petrie. The lead to 11 now as we get started in the third quarter.
Exactly what they were cooking up. They want to get it going early.
Madison Layden, her response.
And they're definitely happy to see those threes start to go down. It's been a pretty rough three-point shooting day for both teams, but able to get it going here early.
Laisha Petrie.
Fast break basket.
The Racers racing up the court. Transition. Here it's Harper. Off the feed from Layden. Gotta imagine Katie Gearlds happy about that production for her starting 5. And a takeaway now from Layden. Petrie up the court. Stopping. Spinning. And Petrie for where your team is at as you embark on a new conference schedule. Laisha Petrie. Another one from 3.
Great work there. 3. Something a little interesting about her, that ribbon that she wears in her hair, she will always have it in. She has one for every uniform combo. It's from her family.
It's Potts. She'll drive in and reset things off to Ellis. Ellis, a three-pointer, top of the key, and Abby Ellis. Her first three-pointer of the afternoon.
3% from the field last year. Really effective. And that's something, again, a lot of question marks, but a lot to be excited about with this Purdue team.
That'll do it. Purdue improves to 2-0. A win over Murray State.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 33 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. The head coach is with us. Katie Gearlds off to a 2-0 start this season. We talked before the season. One of the goals is always to protect the home court, and so far, mission accomplished.
So far, so good. Couple challenges this week, but good to get a couple wins under our belt, start the season off on a right note.
Let's start at talking about that Marshall game on Thursday night. You got off to a great start, 25-11 start, and I thought moved the ball as well in the first quarter as any team I've seen in a while. You played great defense. That was a great opening 10 minutes. Yeah,
I think that's who we're starting or who we're trying to become. We got a long way to go to reach that. I think a couple times I tapped Beth and Jalen like, who are we right now? I mean, I haven't seen this even in practice, but I think that's that's where we're trying to get our team, and what a great start for us. Thank God, thank goodness we needed all of those points.
You had told me before the season that Caitlin Harper was a player that was capable of scoring outside as well as shooting inside. She didn't shoot any three-pointers in her exhibition game, and then she comes out in the first quarter and bangs a couple from the top of the key. I'm sure that the other bench had to be shaking their heads a little bit at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't go back to her Cal Baptist days, and when she did, I think she had 68 threes in her 2 years there. She's just, probably one of our better shooters, to be honest. you know, she can just stretch the defense. But what's so great about her is that she's like the consummate team player. She is going to do whatever it takes for Purdue to win, and she is so fun to coach.
Marshall got it going in the second quarter, cut the margin down to 4 at halftime. They had it down to 1 point a few times in the second half, but they never got the lead from you. You had talked to me last week that you had worked a lot on stopping dribble penetration, and they did hurt you a little bit with that. Their little guards started at the top of the key, and she was going to the basket come hell or high water.
Yeah, we worked on it, but it did not work. They just kind of put their head down and bullied us and got to the rim. And you know, they had a couple strong physical guards that just bullied us out of the way, and we're still learning, you know, trying to sit in gaps and be active, and you know, keeping our head on a swivel, and all those little details that go into being a good defensive team. But you know, after the game, we watched, you know, we didn't even move on to Murray State. We just kept it with Marshall. We watched the tape. We spent 2 days on the defensive end, and I thought really responded for the most part against a very good Murray State basketball team.
Yeah, and going back to that Marshall game, I thought the encouraging thing was after they cut it down, there was no panic, and you were able to close the game out. That's something that, you know, through the last few years here at Purdue, we haven't always seen. So it was nice to see you finish on a strong note in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we go into the third quarter with a 4-point lead and leave with a 5. You know, so we found a way to win the quarter. As ugly as it was, you know, we found a way to win those 10 minutes, and you know, found a way to down the stretch. You know, I think Jayla came up huge, hit a couple threes down the stretch, but defensively we gave up 8 points, I think, in the fourth quarter. That's what it was, and just kind of locked in and you know, just having that urgency for 4 quarters is what we're trying to do.
One of the great things about college athletics is you get to see the progression of players from their freshman year all the way through. At least it used to be that way before the portal. Now they kind of come in from all over the place. But you can see the growth in the game and the confidence that Jayla has picked up, because I'm not sure she takes those shots last year that she took in the fourth quarter on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it, you know, numerous times. I feel like every time I get in front of media or have a mic in my face, I'm talking about Jayla Smith and the growth and maturity that she's shown on and off the court. You know, big time shots for our ball club. We were, you know, Abby wasn't in uniform. Laisha was in foul trouble. So here comes Jayla, and she steps up and knocks him down. Takes him with confidence too, just we expect a lot, and we need a lot from number 3. But you know, really proud of her growth. And you look at her; she just looks a little bit physically stronger than she did last year. I think she's doing all the things right off the court that are going to help her become better and better.
You mentioned Madison Layden in her exhibition game, and now in the first 2 regular season games. She doesn't have a turnover yet, and she's got a whole bunch of assists. She seems to be really understanding the offense this year pretty well. Yeah,
I mean, you know, we can't say enough about what her presence does on the court. There's just a calmness about her. She never gets high. She never gets low, unless she's getting upset with herself. But sees the floor probably. You know, I know Janae racks up the assists, but those two see the floor so well. And Mads is normally just a player or 2 ahead of pretty much everybody. And you know, I kind of, when we took her out in the fourth quarter, I said, did you get a turnover? And she's like, I don't think so. We kind of looked at the stat sheet, and, you know, 3 games, no turnovers with the number of assists, and the amount of time she has the basketball in her hands is actually pretty special.
All right, we need to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union after this on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Possession. I was looking at Janae Terry. She is having a fantastic game, getting herself in great positions defensively.
As Terry dumps it off to Harden, and Harden. 3 offensive rebounds for Purdue in the early going. As Terry stops, finds Harper. Harper bombs away from 3-point land. Woo-hoo! Over to Harden once again. Harden's 3 off the mark. Terry, another rebound. Janae Terry all over the glass. Back to Harden. Her 3 hits the bottom of the net. Clock under a minute now, and Jayla Smith picks the pocket. Smith on the other end. Left-hand layup up and in.
And they're looking to keep it going.
Janae Terry looking at the Boilermakers back on track on offense. Cassidy Harden. Corner triple. Lots of movement around the perimeter for Purdue offense as Petrie will take it inside, and Laisha Petrie, the bucket, count it.
She subbed out. I should say subbed out and then subbed back in.
Jayla Smith all alone, wide open for the three-pointer. Third quarter, and Jayla Smith picks the pocket of Beeman. Smith going the other way, right hand up and in. Beeman got to get a shot off. That one over the rim, no good. Terry pushing the pace now, finding Layden. Off to Smith. Smith, the three from the wing. Down low, Harper. Harper, 5 on the shot clock. Off to Terry. Terry backing down. Post fadeaway. Patience here from Terry. Driving in off to Smith. Smith, corner, 3. Yes! Terry inside the cutting Layden, who sets it up and in. And the foul.
Playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. 2 games this week will be on at 6:45 Thursday night for the SIU Edwardsville game. By the way, Courtney Delks, you knew her as Courtney Moses. She'll be joining me on Thursday night, and then Sunday, Jane Schott will join me at 1:45. That game will be streaming only. It'll be our only game this year in the regular season that's not on Bob FM. So Bob FM Thursday night, and then PurdueSports.com on Sunday. Yesterday, you came back against a Murray State team that won 22 games last year, went to the WNIT, they changed conferences. They were in the Ohio Valley, now they went to the Missouri Valley. Their player of the year last year, Caitlin Young, I thought you did a great job shutting her down and keeping her in check yesterday.
Yeah, Murray State, they had a great year last year and pretty much returned everybody, so knew we were going to have our hands full and thought we put a decent game plan together, but just really proud of our group for kind of executing that game plan. We wanted to stay locked in and just kind of have a contact with number 31, with Caitlin Young, the entire game, and I thought Caitlin and Ricky did such a good job of just never losing contact with her, and then when she did catch it inside, we made her play in the crowd. And holding her to 7 points was really huge for our ball club.
It's kind of fun to see your player Harper yesterday go against their both kind of undersized posts, Harper and Young, and you could see that they've had to get crafty, kind of learning the position, getting position inside, making moves inside, and it was great to see how that Caitlin clearly had the upper hand yesterday.
Yeah, I take our Caitlin all day, every day, and that's not a knock on theirs. I mean, theirs was an All-American last year. I thought we did a really good job of just making her play in the crowd. I thought our doubles were good when she did catch it inside. Caitlin and Ricky both clogged up and sat on her right shoulder, trying to make her to score with her right hand. I think one time she got Caitlin to her left hand, but other than that, her and Ricky were pretty much spot on.
Laisha Petrie scored 23 points for you yesterday, and we've talked all along. She scored at Bradley. She scored on a low-scoring team last year at Rutgers. Scoring translates, and she can do a little bit of everything for you offensively.
Yeah, she sure can. And, sometimes she can get a little shot happy, but, that's kind of who we need her to be. We need her to find her shots in the open court, kind of take some pressure off us in the half court when we're struggling to score. I think she's starting to learn, the shots that I like her to take, the shots that we need her to take. But she goes 9 for 15 from the field and scores 23 points. That's a pretty good night.
After the first week of the season, Janae Terry is second in the Big Ten in rebounds, and she leads the Big Ten in assists. Now, when you get 10 rebounds and 10 assists in each game, that helps. But again, it looks like she's going to have another stat-stuffing season.
Yeah, we've got Abby on the show later. Janae was supposed to come tonight to talk, but dog is sick, so hopefully she's taking care of that pup at home. But that's just what we need. And points. She'll score points when we need her to score points. I tried to keep her in there as long as I could yesterday. Try to get her that triple-double, but. That's going to come because that's just who she is, and she knows that's what our basketball team needs. At
this point in the season, you have 12 players on your roster. You've got a couple of freshmen. You've got a freshman walk-on. You're going to try and get those two, especially the 2 scholarship kids, up to speed. But it looks like right now you're going to go with a 9-player rotation for the time being.
Yeah, I think that's where we are right now. And I think Lily and AP are still learning and adjusting to this game at this level. How every rep has to be, at 100 speed, and they're catching up. We return a lot, and Laisha and Caitlin our fifth years that have been in the college game, so it was easy for them to kind of pick up what we were trying to do and what we want to do. And there's no pressure on those two. Just come in and practice hard every single day, make your teammates better, and just make sure you stay ready. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but those two are skilled enough to help our ball club down the stretch. And, we're just going to make sure we don't throw them out there until we know that they're ready.
Couple of comments tonight on Facebook. We're going to get to these later about your recruiting class because you signed a recruiting class last week, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to bring Abby Ellis on next, our guest, player guest tonight. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
It's really tough to get loose.
Cold weather, November football in the Big Ten. Hello! Up over the top, Payne Durham, the hurdle.
He's in the stack, bottom of the screen.
DeVito looks that way, surveys the field, in trouble, down he goes.
From West Lafayette.
They go right back to Maccabee, and he's in! Win titles, win rivalry games like this one. O'Connell throwing on first down. Negates the interception. Purdue stays on the field. O'Connell floats it. It's caught! Touchdown! Charlie Jones!
So they've moved the football. Their defense has played great. They just got to put it all together here in the second half.
O'Connell cuts up, keeps it himself. Longest run of the season for Aiden O'Connell. In Champaign, Dustin Fox, Jay Alter, Lawrence Sisler, a battle in the Big Ten. A tight one, not much to separate these two. O'Connell has Sheffield wide open.
Can they put out the flames here?
O'Connell rolling left, floats back at all. It was caught. Touchdown, Purdue! Play action. O'Connell. It's caught. Payne Durham dragging a man all the way for a Purdue touchdown. DeVito escapes pressure. Down he goes. Critical 3rd and 5. DeVito throws quickly, batted ball. It's intercepted.
And you know it's going to be a pass. 4th down and 9.
Need to get it to the 23. O'Connell surveys the field, steps up, throws. It's caught. TJ Sheffield.
Purdue Global is Purdue's accredited and affordable online solution for working adults. Persistence pays off at Purdue Global. And speaking of persistence, we have Abby Ellis with us. Abby, our senior from Melbourne, Australia. Persistence because you had to sit out an injury this time. You missed the opening game Thursday night against Marshall. Tell us about the injury and how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling better. I think it was quite unexpected to start my season. It was injury to the collarbone on my shooting hand, so it was kind of long rehab days and trying to get healthy to get my shot up pretty much. But that was like the first college game I've ever sat out, so it was really hard to watch in the season opener. But I enjoyed the girls, pulling through with the win. It was stressful for a lot of the game, but it was a great team win, and I'm glad to be back.
I would have to imagine in your entire career, you haven't had to sit on the sidelines very much and watch. That had to be a different experience for you.
It was, and I think it was like a great experience just to watch the game from that angle and even hear the coaches talk to each other and talk to the players. And it was great, like having like teammates there I could talk to about the game, seeing how they feel and what I'm seeing, and I feel like it was something that really open my perspective for the game, but I don't want to get used to it. Let's just say that.
And we don't want to see you on the sideline. Yeah. Talk about your acclimation coming here from California. So you've been in the United States now for a while. You've become more Americanized, I suppose, in the last couple of years. But the transition going from the West Coast here to the Midwest, how was that last year?
That was difficult. I thought I thought I knew what cold was, but then the winter hit, and that was a bit different. The wind's pretty goes through the bone. But other than that, I I felt like I adjusted well, like in terms of homesickness, and it was really great to have my family come visit me during January and watch a few games. So that was really good. But yeah, it was honestly just the weather thing. So.
You know, we had Jack Ansell on the Jeff Brom show earlier this year, a fellow Australian. He said exactly the same thing. He thought he knew what it was going to be like here when winter hit, and he was wrong.
Yeah, and he's from like the country too, and I'm a city girl. So for him to say it's cold, yeah.
Talk about your season last year. Big Ten honorable mention. How did you feel it went, and what improvements do you think you've made from last year to this year?
I mean, last year I felt like on a personal level, I felt like I really grew as a player as the season went on. You know, conference play was a totally different caliber of skill that I had played in, you know, the Big West and back home. But I felt like, you know, Katie and my teammates gave me great advice. In each game, I felt like I was improving as a player and as a guard. And this year, I think as a team and myself, we're really focusing on our defense and shutting down teams when they get on a run. And I felt like last season there was so many close games where we couldn't quite close it out. So that's something that we're really trying to improve on as a team. And I think with all the training that we're going to get there.
Coming in from Cal Poly to the Big Ten last year, bigger crowds. Was that a big adjustment for you, especially when you got on the road?
Yes, it was. I mean, I love the crowds. They're so much fun. And it's basically just... it's like that sixth defender on the court sometimes, and you know, sometimes I'm getting your head a bit. But honestly, majority of the time I enjoyed it. It's just a great atmosphere, and I can't really get that back home. So it's just every time we play away or even at home, it's just a great experience. On
the flip side, it has to be a thrill when you hear the fans cheering when you come down the tunnel at Mackey Arena. It has to give you a little bit of a lift.
Oh yeah, goosebumps every time, and you know, you hear that horn siren go, and it's just like a little rush going through you.
Have you become acclimated? We talked about getting acclimated to the Midwest food. Are you a tenderloin, corn dog eater now, the things that we take for granted here as our Midwest cuisine?
I think so, but the one thing that I really enjoyed is ranch, because we didn't have that back home. So ranch has been a big thing that I've had here. And other than that, I feel like I've you know, the cheeseburgers and the corn dogs, I think I've
You said ranch?
Ranch.
Like the salad dressing ranch?
Ranch.
You don't have that in Australia?
No.
Do you have anything close to what kind of salad dressing do you have in Australia?
We just have like
the Guy Fieri has come in all of a sudden.
We just have like a balsamic and like Italian, but never ranch.
So this has kind of changed your life here.
It has. Like now it's just like ranch and carrots, ranch and celery.
There you go. All right, we're going to hear more from Abby Ellis when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway.
Bottom of the net, a quick pass into Layden. Back out, Harden, her three-pointer. Nothing but net. To Ellis. Ellis driving in, right hand. Can't find it. Harper, the rebound once again. Find the bottom of the basket. Terry dumps it off to Petrie. Petrie crossing over. And a nice move, Laisha Petrie. The lead to 11 now as we get started in the third quarter.
Exactly what they were cooking up. They want to get it going early.
Madison Layden, her response.
And they're definitely happy to see those threes start to go down. It's been a pretty rough three-point shooting day for both teams, but able to get it going here early.
Laisha Petrie.
Fast break basket.
The Racers racing up the court. Transition. Here it's Harper off the feed from Layden. Got to imagine Katie Gearlds happy about that production for starting five. And the takeaway now from Layden. Petrie up the court. Stopping, spinning, and Petrie for where your team is at as you embark on a new conference schedule. As Laisha Petrie, another one from three.
Great work there. Three. Something a little interesting about her, that ribbon that she wears in her hair, she will always have it in. She has one for every uniform combo. It's from her family.
It's Potts. She'll drive in and reset things off to Ellis. Ellis a three-pointer, top of the key, and Abby Ellis. Her first three-pointer of the afternoon.
3% from the field last year. Really effective. And that's something, again, a lot of question marks, but a lot to be excited about with this Purdue team.
That'll do it. Purdue improves to 2-0. A win over Murray State.
Athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler-made. 2 players to report on this week. Sam Ostarello playing in Italy for Ragusa. Her team won 85-82 to improve to 2-4 on the season, and Sam had 7 points and 9 rebounds in that game. Aya Traore playing in Spain for St. Joseph had a 63-56 win to go 3-3, and Aya had a double-double in that game with 14 points and 11 rebounds. And speaking of overseas, we have Abby Ellis with us coming from Melbourne, Australia. And I saw in your bio, you played something called netball in Australia. What is netball?
Netball is basically, it's a women's sport, and it's basically kind of like a basketball court, except like the ring has no backboard, and basically the idea is just to pass it down the court and score. So it's like basketball, but just no dribbling. And it's basically like 7 players on the court, all different positions allowed in different areas. And I played that growing up, and it's kind of like it complements basketball. So a lot of girls play basketball and netball. So yeah, I played that my whole junior.
So the skills are transferable. You're able to use a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, moving to get open. Footwork is a lot because you got to defend kind of like someone getting the ball, but definitely help with basketball, and I played those pretty much all the way up until I decided to go to college.
I saw in your game notes your dream job as a child, you said zookeeper. Was that because of Steve Irwin? Or is that because you couldn't think of anything else to say?
Well, I think I remember I really wanted to get a dog, and I think I knew this was like, I had to do it for like primary school. I knew my parents would hear it, and then I thought being a zookeeper would make my parents get me a dog.
I see.
Did not work.
Did it work? Did not work.
No,
okay,
did not.
All right. Frisbee golf, play a lot of Frisbee golf?
Yeah, we played a bit in high school. But I heard it in high school in Australia, and then Frisbee golf here, I actually learned it was really competitive, and there was some on campus. I got to admit, not my best skill, but you can always learn. So.
All right, now this one I'm not sure. I have never watched Lilo and Stitch, so I'm not going to know if this impression's any good. But I've heard you do a fantastic impression of Stitch. Give us a little bit.
Okay.
And again, somebody's going to have to tell me if this is good because I have no idea.
Okay. Lilo and Stitch from Disney, so.
Okay.
I just got to clear the throat a bit.
All right. This is Abby Ellis doing Stitch.
Okay.
Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten.
How about a round of applause there?
There we go.
This is stuff you're not getting anywhere else, folks.
This is inside stuff.
All right. And you're a TikTok star. Tell me about what you do on TikTok, and what do you like to see? What do you like to watch when you're on TikTok?
What I like to do on TikTok is it's like all basketball content, just like funny jokes that basketballers can relate to, like, breaking a full court press or stuff like that. And then I just do that. Then what I like to watch on TikTok, it's like a range of stuff. I feel like that also keeps me up with the news sometimes. A lot of just like funny fails of like basketball or sports. But yeah, TikTok. I would say TikTok is a priority in my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're going to get to travel a little bit this year with basketball. You get to Cancun here in a couple of weeks and Las Vegas in December. Have you been to either one of those places before?
I've never been to Cancun, so I'm super excited. And Vegas, I've been once, and I played the Big West tournament there in my sophomore season. But obviously due to COVID, it was a bit just stuck in my room for a bit. So I'm excited just to be out there and, travel a little bit. And I think KG chose some great spots to go.
Well, she is a voice character. She's a Frisbee golf star and a little bit of everything. It's Abby Ellis. Abby, stay healthy. We want to see you on the floor and not on the sideline, and we'll see you Thursday night.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll have the head coach back with us in a couple of minutes. It's the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Gearlds here, head women's basketball coach at Purdue University.
That's it. I was looking at Janae Terry. She is having a
of
fantastic game, getting herself in great positions defensively.
As Terry dumps it off to Harden, and Harden. 3 offensive rebounds for Purdue in the early going. As Terry stops, finds Harper. Harper bombs away from three-point land. Woo-hoo! Over to Harden once again. Harden's 3 off the mark. Terry, another rebound. Janae Terry all over the glass. Back to Harden. Her 3 hits the bottom of the net. Clock under a minute now, and Jayla Smith picks the pocket. Smith on the other end. Left hand layup up and in.
And they're looking to keep it going.
Janae Terry looking at the Boilermakers back on track on offense. Cassidy Harden. Corner triple. Lots of movement around the perimeter for Purdue offense as Petrie will take it inside, and Laisha Petrie, the bucket, count it.
She subbed out. I should say subbed out and then subbed back in.
Jayla Smith all alone, wide open for the three-pointer. Third quarter, and Jayla Smith picks the pocket of Beeman. Smith going the other way, right hand up and in. Beeman got to get a shot off. That one over the rim, no good. Terry pushing the pace now, finding Layden. Off to Smith. Smith, the 3 from the wing. Down low, Harper. Harper, 5 on the shot clock, off to Terry. Terry backing down, post fadeaway. Patience here from Terry, driving in off to Smith. Smith, corner, 3, yes! Terry inside the cutting Layden, who sets it up and in, and the foul.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Checking in tonight on Facebook, we have John, our friend in Pennsylvania. Ira is from Wisconsin tonight. Brianne Butler, love to see you on the list here. Sheila from Remington. And John asked a question, and I was going to ask you about this recruiting class. You guys signed a recruiting class last week that was ranked in the top 25. Let's first of all talk about the class and then talk about how it compares and what differences there are and similarities recruiting at a place like Marion and then recruiting at Purdue. But let's start with the class. 5 players, and every one of them's got some high potential, it looks like.
Yeah, we're super excited about this group. I think when I came in into March of last year, 2 years ago now, I guess, as associate head coach, kind of just the 22 class was done. I said, okay, let's dive into the 23. Got on the phones right away. Made some contacts. Started to develop relationships with, AU guys, high school guys that I didn't really have at Marion, obviously. But fortunately for me, my parents taught me a pretty good way to kind of sweet talk some people, and feel like I got a little bit of charm in me to kind of get on their good sides. And there's a game you got to play with those guys, absolutely. But it's a game worth playing, and we just kind of found a group. We looked at our roster, looked at who we were going to try to get out of the portal, and just kind of said, okay, this is what we want. We want to make sure we dive into trying to get the best kids in Indiana. Try to get those kids to stay home. Get them away from Michigan, get them away from Indiana, get them away from Notre Dame, get them to be in black and gold again. And that was the goal. And just as we just kept diving into it, developed relationships, and went out there and kind of started to love these 5 and what they could bring, and super, super excited about them.
All right, we're going to do a rundown in the next segment on each of them, but how did you go out before you had, you had to start making these contacts before you'd probably even played a game last year. How do you sell something that they can't see yet?
Yeah, that was, in retrospect, looking back on it, that was probably the hardest sell, right? I wasn't even supposed to be the head coach. So how do I sell Purdue what I wanted to do and still they weren't going to see that product.
Yep.
So the best thing for us moving forward, was Coach retiring early, and it, as emotional of a roller coaster as that was for me, I got to kind of show, I talked to all these kids about what we were going to try to do, what we wanted to do, and then they got to see it, right? And we refused to skip any steps. I mean, I know last year we didn't have a zone put in, and you've seen us go out there a little bit, and now we've thrown a little 2-3 zone out there, but being able to show that product, being able to show, my energy in practice, my energy on the sidelines, who I am as a head coach, that really helped kind of fast forward that process. But I think this 5 will always be so special to me because they believed in me before they even saw it, and that's something that I will always hold dear to my heart.
And it probably takes you back when you have a day like last week to your signing day and the thoughts that went through your mind as you signed to play here at Purdue. You got to see that 5 times over last Wednesday. Yeah,
it was really cool. I remember where I was and who was there with me when I signed, and getting text and getting pictures throughout the day from these 5. I've got a poster in my office that one of them made for me, and that will be there probably until they make me turn in my keys here.
All right, we're going to talk about the 5 when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
There's more to this game than meets the eye. It takes dedication, determination.
Cold weather, November football in the Big Ten. Hello, up over the top, Payne Durham, the hurdle.
He's in the stack, bottom of the screen.
DeVito looks that way, surveys the field, in trouble, down he goes.
And West Lafayette.
They go right back to Maccabee, and he's in! Win titles, win rivalry games like this one. O'Connell throwing on first down. Negates the interception. Purdue stays on the field. O'Connell floats it. It's caught! Touchdown, Charlie Jones!
So they've moved the football. Their defense has played great. They just got to put it all together here in the second half.
O'Connell cuts up, keeps it himself. Longest run of the season for Aiden O'Connell. It's Champaign, Dustin Fox, Jay Alter, Lord Sisler. A battle in the Big Ten. A tight one, not much to separate these two. O'Connell has Sheffield wide open.
Can they put out the flames here?
O'Connell rolling left, floats back of the end zone, jump ball. It was caught. Touchdown, Purdue. Play action. O'Connell. It's caught. Payne Durham dragging a man all the way for a Purdue touchdown. DeVito escapes pressure. Down he goes. Critical 3rd and 5. DeVito throws quickly, batted ball. It's intercepted.
And you know it's going to be a pass. 4th down and 9.
Need to get it to the 23. O'Connell surveys the field, steps up, throws. It's caught. TJ Sheffield.
In the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. All right, let's get about a minute on each of your newcomers. We'll start in the state. Rashunda Jones coming in from South Bend.
She was the first kid I offered as going to be head coach. Just fell in love with her on the phone, watching her play, her competitiveness. She was around a lot of – she played with really good players in high school and AAU. She's known to sit down in the stance and guard full court. She's becoming a better shooter, but her ability to get in the paint, her long arms, her shoulders, I just thought the more she matured, the more she was going to be a really, really good college basketball player.
A name that we're familiar with, McKenna Layden, coming in from Northwestern High School in Kokomo.
Yeah, that one was pretty easy. Not that I just think that the more Madison was around me, it was easy for her to sell, you know, to Kenna what we were trying to do and who we were trying to become, and you know, kind of tease Mads all the time, like who's the better shooter. I think Kenna's upside. She has a chance to be, if she wants to be better than Madison, she has the athletic ability to be better than Madison. Madison is a smarter basketball player at this, you know, when she was in high school. But McKenna can just stroke it. She's long. She sits in a stance and can guard. And those two for 2 years together could be interesting.
Maybe the most under the radar player in this class, Emily Monson from Tennessee.
Yeah, Em can, man, that kid can just shoot it. She came to our camp, our elite camp that summer going into my first year, and I just fell in love with who she was, who she, you know, how she competed in elite camp, her personality, her family. And there's something to be said about someone who wants to wear black and gold, right? She plays for a really good AU club and plays with some good players around her, but just accepts her roles. And we always talk about you can't have so many alphas, right? You've got to have kids that understand their role and their parts and how they're going to fit the puzzle. You talk about a great young woman and just a wonderful family that's joining our program.
From the state next door, and the reigning Miss Illinois, Miss Basketball in Illinois, Sophie Swanson.
Yeah, you know I like shooters, and Soph can just flat out put the ball in the basket. Strong legs, strong body, can get to the rim whenever she wants, but the kid can just flat out shoot the basketball.
And the last player to commit to you, Mary Ashley Groot from New York City.
Yeah, MA was she put us through the ringer, but we just never gave up on her, never gave up on it. And we stayed the course, and you know, when we first started recruiting the kid, she was a top 40 kid, and I know she's fallen a little bit, but it's crazy how politics plays into to all that mess. But MA is everything that you kind of want Purdue to be, and you know, she's hard-nosed, she's tough, she's physical, she's going to be the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. You know, I think that's true about her, but it's true about probably all these five. They're just going to help change our culture and kind of keep pushing it on the right path where we already are, but they'll just kind of help fast forward it.
Well, those five will be coming in next season. They've got senior seasons to play, so good luck to them, and we look forward to seeing them in the fall. We're going to go back to the present when we come back. It's our final segment coming up of the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Shot. Can't find the bottom of the net. A quick pass into Layden. Back out. Harden, her three-pointer. Nothing but net. To Ellis. Ellis driving in, right hand. Can't find it. Harper the rebound once again. Find the bottom of the basket. Terry dumps it off to Petrie. Petrie crossing over. And a nice move. Lacia Petrie. The lead to 11 now as we get started in the third quarter.
Exactly what they were cooking up. They want to get it going early.
Madison Layden, her response.
And they're definitely happy to see those threes start to go down. It's been a pretty rough three-point shooting day for both teams, but able to get it going here early.
Lacia Petrie.
Fast break basket.
The Racers racing up the court. Transition. Here it's Harper off the feed from Layden. Got to imagine Katie Gearlds happy about that production for her starting five. And the takeaway now from Layden. Petrie up the court. Stopping, spinning, and Petrie for where your team is at as you embark on a new conference schedule. Lacia Petrie. Another one from three.
Great work there. Three. Something a little interesting about her, that ribbon that she wears in her hair, she will always have it in. She has one for every uniform combo. It's from her family.
It's Potts. She'll drive in and reset things off to Ellis. Ellis a three-pointer, top of the key, and Abby Ellis. Her first three-pointer of the afternoon.
3% from the field last year. Really effective. And that's something, again, a lot of question marks, but a lot to be excited about with this Purdue team.
That'll do it, Purdue.
services at PurdueFed.com. It was fun talking about the future in the last segment. Let's get back to the present in this one. 2 more home non-conference games starting on Thursday night from the Ohio Valley Conference. SIU Edwardsville, and a team that's a little bit similar to a team that you played last week because they have 4 transfers and 5 freshmen coming in, so kind of a roster makeover.
Yeah, but Sam can coach. We actually coached against each other in the Final Four of one of our national championship runs at Marion. So know her well. Played against her sister when she was at DePaul and growing up, Allie. So they're well coached. They play really, really hard. They're aggressive on the ball, aggressive in passing lane. So we had 7 turnovers against Murray State. Hopefully we can keep that number, but I think that the way they're going to pressure us with that number could be a little higher.
Yeah, you have to love the number of assists you had to turnover. I mean, you're going to take that number 3, more than 3 to 1, almost 4 to 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, honestly, our goal is 2 to 1. So being able to go 3 to 1, 3.5 to 1 is something pretty special.
Then you play an in-state school on Sunday. Indiana State comes up from Terre Haute. They're in the Missouri Valley Conference. Anytime you play an in-state school, they're going to be a little bit more jacked up when they come into Mackey Arena.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? I remember when I played here and we go to Valpo or, someone's coming to Mackey, just a little bit different. Sometimes, you get a group of a team that kind of maybe one day or growing up they thought that they were going to wear a Purdue jersey. So we got to make sure we come out and ready to go. But, Tim, like we say, the goal is to protect Mackey, and we've got 2 opportunities to do that this week.
Yeah, and we've talked always job one when you play is to win. But you're also looking to build toward your conference schedule. You got those 2 conference games coming up in early December. So in addition to the wins, what do you want to see as this team takes the next step this week with 2 more non-conference games?
Yeah, I think just some pride on the defensive end. We tell them we're not going to be a team that scores 80, 90 points every game, like a team that Iowa, right? That's just not who we are. Our identity has to rely. We have to rely on the defensive end, and we've got a long way to go to get there. I thought our attention to detail was a little bit better against Murray State. Understanding, what we're trying to do. But like I said, long way to go. We got to make sure we sit in a stance this week and guard the basketball, and we'll get challenged that way. But if we can keep continuing to get better defensively, now's the time you don't want your offense going now, right?
Let's make a quick pitch. We love the core of fans that we have in Mackey Arena, but we want them all to bring a friend because this is a team that's fun to watch and I think is deserving of your time and attention.
Yeah, I mean, we can say it all the time. Like we get out and we go, even if it doesn't look pretty. I mean, we're gonna push the ball and get the ball out and try to score a lot of points. And there'll be games when we'll have to grind things out and we'll need a lot of energy. But I have a good, strong feeling that if you come to one of our games, you'll like what you see out there.
Katie, good start. Let's see if we can keep it going this week with 2 more wins on the home court.
All right, let's do it, Kim.
All right, we want to thank Wes Scott, our engineer tonight, Roger Forsyth, our producer. Our video on Facebook, produced by Hunter Massengill. Boilermakers with 2 home games this week, taking on SIU Edwardsville. That's Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We'll have it here on Bob FM starting at 6:45. And then Sunday, the Boilermakers hosting Indiana State. Jane Schopp joins me for that one. We'll be on a little bit before 2. And again, that one is the only game this year in the regular season that will be streaming only. So go to PurdueSports.com for that. We'll be back here next Monday night at 7:10 for another edition of the Katie Gearlds Show. For the head coach and for Abby Ellis, I'm Tim Newton. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you at Mackey Arena on Thursday night. Good night, everybody.
On the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.